Yes, people, what's going on? I am back. Apologies, couldn't stream the live stream, but I was a bit occupied with my son. Obviously, with the football thing, he done well today. But before we get into all of that, make sure you do like, share, subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the chat as well. I was gonna say in the comments, but I forgot that I was live. But how's everybody feeling? Big up to all the people that have been waiting patiently in the chat. I haven't kept you waiting long, 2 minutes. But yeah, man, as you come in, make sure you do smash up that like button, subscribe if you are new. Let me read some of these people in the chat. Karan is asking if you can call in. There will be a call-in show after this. I have posted it already. It will be at 9 o'clock UK time. So I'm going to be on here for about 30, maybe 45 minutes to discuss today's emphatic result against Southampton over at St. Mary's Stadium in the Premier League. What a way to bounce back. Princeton, Guni on the next show on Troops' TV. I want to see you put him in a spliff. Stop being nice to him when their team lose, bro. And big up to keep the blue flag flying high. Here's the thing, bruv. It's hard to take the piss out of a team that are already down in the dumps. Do you know what I mean? I'm that kind of person where like I enjoy taking the piss out of teams that are not doing well. And it works both ways. Because you see, like when Troops is chatting shit, you already made me swear in like the opening like minute. Yeah? But anyway, when Troops and Zara just chatting, in the back of my mind I know these men are going on 6 years with no Champions League. They've never won it. They've not even won a Europa League. They're nowhere near winning the Premier League. They're not winning FA Cups no more. And they're not winning League Cups. So what does that leave them with? So this is why, like, I just leave them shouting and the wishful thinking and all that. And I just keep it moving in my mind. And that's why I'm not really too bothered. But this time round, because of the way them man were getting on to Chelsea about the Real Madrid loss, I'm going to have to make an exception, certainly. So definitely, who was it that said that? Princeton, I will grant you your wish. I've already started the drama. I've already started it. After we got our result and they got theirs, they're getting it. And then on top of that, Spurs just battered, who was they playing? Aston Villa, 4-0. Not looking good for Arsenal. Top 4 is in the bin for them, man, there. Jake, big up yourself. I see you. Sean Byrne, big up yourself. Diego C. Palace, big up yourself. Jago, big up yourself. T-Boys TV, big up yourself. Nadeem, big up yourself. Sashwat Roy, big up yourself. Ilias, big up yourself. There's more people. Like, these chats are loading a bit slow. I don't want to... Tia Quinn saying, I don't want to get carried away with the result because it's Southampton, but it shows that against Real Madrid, we lost the game ourselves in the second, but in the second leg, I'm hopeful. Wait, there's a lot of work, but obviously we're going to talk about that. We're 100% going to talk about that at some point in this stream. But if you are just jumping in, make sure you do smash up that like button. Also, subscribe. If you are new, let's get the algorithm in the favor of this channel. You get me? So, let's get started on this game. I don't have to really detail with the lineups. Hold on. I need to get my notes up as well. I took some notes this time round because I wasn't able to watch most of the game in real time, but I did catch up though. When I got back, I caught up. But yes, Chelsea went over to St. Mary's Stadium today and turned out a performance that I absolutely did not expect. I ain't going to lie to you. I woke up nerves all over the place. I wasn't feeling great about this result. I thought it was going to win, but I thought it was going to be a narrow victory. But boy, was I surprised. Good day for football, for being honest. United, they took the L against Everton. I thought Everton were done for, but United are just the gift that keep on giving. Arsenal as well. It was very, very nice to see them get humbled at home as well by Brighton, especially after the shit that them boys have been talking over there on back again. But we will revisit that on the next episode, 100%. But Spurs got the win, 4-0. So it's looking like top 4 is pretty much done for Manchester United and almost done for Arsenal Football Club. Unless Spurs, in Spurs fashion, just absolutely F things up before the end of the season, which isn't outside the realms of possibility, by the way. it's not outside the realms of possibility. So Spurs fans, you lot got to wait till the season's over. But for us, it looks like we're pretty comfortable. We've got our feet under the table. But I still want to see solid performances like we saw today. We've got to build on that win today. 6-0 Southampton. I've got to start with this. Ralph Hasenhüttl died on his sword today. He wasn't just going to sit back and absorb pressure and try and hit Chelsea on the counter. We know that's not how Southampton play football. He wanted to attack, didn't work in their favour. We absolutely picked them apart today in what was an absolute masterstroke performance from Chelsea and a masterstroke performance from Thomas Tuchel himself. Tactically, he got it spot on today. Not going to lie, man. Look, everybody around the park had a good game. But obviously, a couple of names are going to be singled. I'm going to start off with that boy Mason Mount because he was involved in pretty much most of the goals. I thought he was absolutely brilliant today. I thought he operated well behind the strikers. I thought Timo Werner as well operated a lot better in his inside role. Also, it was the type of game for him where there was always going to be space for him and he enjoys that. But yeah, flashbacks of Timo last season, some of Timo last season. Unfortunately for him, he hit the post. I think both posts in the opening 10 minutes, and then the crossbar later on. So he hit all 3 bits of the woodwork. But he was rewarded with his 2 goals. Hold on 1 second. Oh, man was on mute the whole time, you know. Man was on mute the whole time. Okay, but that gave some people some time to join in. I saw a couple of more viewers jump in. I was just making sure that you lot was paying attention. Yeah, just making sure you lot were paying attention to see if you lot were listening. But it looks like you lot were all listening. Back again. But yeah, what was I saying? I was talking about. I can't remember where I got cut off because I just started going on a whole waffle. I was on form, fam, and then I just realized I was on mute. But yeah, man, look, the game was suited for Timo Werner. Really, it's like I was saying, Hasenhüttl wasn't really gonna, compromise on his football. He did play a kind of a high line, was gonna try and go for it, but it went terribly wrong for him. Worked in Timo Werner's favour. Acres of space in behind that Southampton line. Also, Mason Mount continually finding him. Kai Havertz finding him into space, man. Timo, Movement FC, as we were once called, but his movement was great today and was rewarded with 2 goals. So big up Timo Werner. But for me, Mason Mount today. Now look, when we put things into perspective, first of all, I've got to say this. It was a poor Southampton side. And you know how Southampton run. They have their moments where they give away their 9-0s. 6-0, 7-0. So it's just like, you get me? Today was just one of those days. So I'm not really going to lean on this too much and say like it was a super supreme performance from Chelsea Football Club. It was still a very good one. Still very clinical showing by Timo Werner, although he did get 2 goals. But it was still a very clinical showing all round. But Mason Mount was just at the centre of everything, really. I'm just even going to start off with the first goal, the way he just set up Marcus Alonso for that lovely finish. Good technique as well, man. Love Marcus Alonso's technique. Was able to nutmeg Fraser Forster for the opening goal. But Mason Mount had a lot to do to make sure he picked his man. Had to control that ball, bring it down. Well, didn't really bring it down. As soon as that ball came down, you seen Marcus Alonso played the pass into him. Whack, 1-0. It was a brilliant finish. Good goal. And really just set the morning straight. Well, for me, it was morning time. For you lot, afternoon, but really just set the game, set the pace, man. And then the second goal, what a finish that was. I mean, Mace has been criticised. He's been criticised, and rightly so, a lot this season. He's been very inconsistent and hasn't really shown that form that he was showing last season. But again, I've explained several times on this show that, you know, young players, consistency it comes and goes, but it's part of the learning curve for some of them. Not all of these players are gonna be consistently performing at the top level. Like these players, like, you know, your Mbappes, your Haalands, and these man there, they're an exception to the rule. You get me? Like, it's very few, a small percentage of these young players hit the ground running and perform at the level that these guys do week in, week out. But Mace, you can see it, man. You can see something special in the boy when it comes to like just being that catalyst in attack. Just really operate, especially today. I love the way he operated that space in behind the strikers. I feel that was his best. I think that's the best football we've seen from him in a while. Just really being involved in a lot of the play. Just his dynamic self, even winning the ball up high, man. It was just a masterful performance from everybody. But Mason, man, I've definitely got to big him up. That second goal, lovely hit from outside the box. Doesn't really get chances in games to do that. Not really often gifted that space, but there was still a lot to do. Not going to lie to you, there was still a lot for him to do outside that box. Picked his corner perfectly. Forster had no chance. Very good goal for 2-0. Boy, I have to say, yeah, Southampton, there are several players in there that I'm disappointed with, and one of them being Salisu. I thought Salisu was quite poor. That's a centre-back that I rate. And Diego C. Palace, I think he did put a stat in here in the last live where he said something like Salisu had the highest interceptions. I believe it was like 68 or something like that up until this game in the Premier League. So I expected better from him, but Southampton today was just an absolute shambles. Just an absolute shambles, man. They could not handle our counter-attack. Timo Werner just showed so many displays of how fast he really is and just how he will kill you if you just give him space behind. And, like, you know, when he's not having to operate so far out wide, a.k.a. chalk on boots, like kind of winger, and you play him in his natural position, which is the inside forward next to somebody, next to a Kai Havertz, who as well I thought had a very, very good game and was rewarded with a goal. That's what you get. But then in the Premier League, you don't get games like that every single week. So I still understand the need for Timo Werner to be sold because, you know, there's a lot of games where you're going to have to play in front of the opposition's defence and work your way, you know, find a way to break them down. And Timo Werner is not really the player to do that. But when he's got games like this where he's gifted space that he can run into, find himself one-on-one on goalkeepers, that's when he's the most lethal. So today just really played into his hands. Previous records against Southampton have been very good. So really it shouldn't have been a surprise to any of us that Timo was going to bag today. Not that I mentioned it in the last live, but still good on him. And then who else scored the other goals? Kai Havertz. Let me see. I had the times of the goals. I just want to make sure that I get them in the right order. I know who scored. I definitely know who scored the goals. I just want to get the order. Let me go on Sky Sports and make sure that I've got the correct order. I had it in my notes, but they got deleted by mistake, I think, or they didn't upload through the iCloud. Right, so it was Alonso in the 8th minute, Mount on the 16th, Timo Werner on the 21st. Yeah, Timo's goal on the 21st. I can't remember if that's the one where he rounded the goalkeeper. I'm not too sure. So many goals happened in this game, but either way, look, that was a response that was needed. 6 great goals from Chelsea Football Club today. All the Ronnies is saying, what's this trash talk about being disappointed in Southampton? We have been on the verge of mental health crisis at Chelsea as CFC fans. The boys bounce back. Thank you very much for this super chat. No, Southampton, listen, man, look. Obviously, there's levels between the two teams. Like, we're Chelsea Football Club, they're Southampton. And let's have it right. Let's have it right as well. Southampton, they're in a position in the table where they don't really have anything to play for. They're not playing for anything in the league, no European positions. They don't appear to be getting relegated this season. They're not playing in any cup competition. So really, they're kind of just in like cruise control. So it doesn't really mean too much for them. You know, their objective every season is just to really have survival in the Prem. And it looks like they're going to be doing so. But they're going to bounce back. I'm sure they'll be disappointed in themselves. Me, as a Chelsea fan, I couldn't care less. I'm happy we got our 3 points, and it was a very, very, very emphatic bounce back from the lads. Ruben Loftus-Cheek as well. I forgot to mention him. Loftus-Cheek operating in a right wing back role. I thought he did pretty well. Cutting inside as well, operating in the midfield with Kante and Kovacic, operating well on the outside, supporting them on that right flank in the attack. I thought, honestly, I can't really say anybody had a bad game today. It just all clicked. It all clicked. A bit of a wild card, that one. I didn't see that one coming. Loftus-Cheek playing there. But it proved to be a masterstroke from Thomas Tuchel. Fair play. Loftus-Cheek often gets criticised, but I felt he had a good game today, as well as everybody else did. Is it a long-term solution? For me, I think not. But is it a positive bounce back? Absolutely. Why? Because we've got Real Madrid. The second leg, obviously, we are 3-1 down. We hold a battering by Benzema and co at Stamford Bridge. Silly mistake in the end from Mendy. That might have cost us the tie, but today, if there was any kind of bounce back, any kind of answer that we needed for Real Madrid, today was it. 6 lovely goals, puts us comfortably in third position, although Spurs do have a game in hand, and if they win that, they'll be 2 points behind us, but I couldn't give a shit about them. I still think we get third. One eye on Real Madrid. Today definitely sends a statement to them to let them know, listen, we've still got some goals in us. We could have actually, had Lukaku would put it away, we could have really been in with a tie with more of a say. But he didn't. But it was good to see, Timo Werner be scoring. Be interesting to see if Tuchel's going to trust him against Real Madrid. Obviously, he had a very good game against them last year. This year, I don't know. In fact, I'm going to throw that question to some of you in the interactive live later on as to whether Timo Werner should be trusted in the lineup against Real Madrid. But yeah, definitely. I'm expecting, look, I'm not saying it's impossible. At first, when I was talking about it on the lives, emotionally, I was just like, I couldn't see a way out, especially after that performance. Today kind of woke up a lot of us, actually, to let us know that they're still fighting this lion, you get me? They're still fighting the blue lion. If we get an early goal at Bernabeu, who knows? Who knows? Certainly, if we get 2 goals before half-time and keep them quiet, that is going to be very, very interesting. And can we do that today? We've shown we can get goals. It was, it's a good way to sort of calm the doubt in people's minds that there's a shooting problem at Chelsea Football Club. Because, look, today we showed that we can score. On our day, we can get 6 goals. We've done it to Norwich as well. We put 7 past them. So we are a team that can get goals, and we're not just relying on 1 or 2 players. Reece James didn't get on the goal sheet today. He's somebody that's been scoring from us from that right wing back position. Kai Havertz did get on a goal sheet today, scored 1 of the goals. Someone that's been scoring consistently for us. Marcus Alonso, good to see him back on the score sheet again. Timo Werner, obviously good to see him on the score sheet, and Mason Mount, good to see him on the score sheet. So I think this really does set us up well, and it also sets us up well for the FA Cup semi-final against Crystal Palace, who, by the way, tried to send a cheeky letter. Apparently tried to send a cheeky letter off to Chelsea Football Club to request Conor Gallagher's involvement in the FA Cup semi-final, to which apparently Chelsea did respond, no, absolutely not. Well, that's Crystal Palace's problem, and apparently it's our benefit, so it is what it is. Let me go through some of the them's comments. Tuchel got the tactics right and the players perform like they must, absolutely. I can't put the comments on the screen today because I am using Streamlabs, but when I do the interactive live, it will be back as normal. Ward-Prowse had a terrible game for them too. Yep, he did. Nobody at Southampton had a good game. I thought they were poor. Super, super poor today. Today's been a good game. We put Southampton in a spliff and Arsenal lost. Now we move on to Real Madrid. Hey, people in the chat, do you think today, after Arsenal's L, top 4's over for them? I want to know, because I've seen some Arsenal fans that still have hope. They still think that Spurs are going to bottle it. They still think they'll do him in the North London derby. Spurs still got Man United to play. Arsenal also have a couple of tough games themselves to play. They've still got us to play at Stamford Bridge. They've still got the North London derby. They've still got United. I believe they've still got West Ham as well. So these are games that are not going to be easy for Arsenal. For me, I think top 4's done for them. And they might not even get Europa League if they're not careful, especially with the injuries that they have. Thomas Partey obviously being injured, Kieran Tierney being injured, Tavares just being a whole bag of shit. To be honest with you, can see why they don't trust him. Xhaka now operating at left back. Lokonga putting in a stinker today. It wasn't looking good for Arsenal, apparently. And if you were watching Troops' Back Again live stream, he completely lost the plot. Yes, he did. He did bill it live, and it got to a point where he said F it and just started smoking on the camera. It is what it is. It gets like that sometimes. I understand this frustration, but I'm telling you, the next episode of Back Again is going to be sweet. Shout out Carter. Emotional damage. That's what happened to Troops and Czar. Emotional damage. Yep, that's what happened. Big up Trey and Carter with the emotional damage. I hope Troops is getting a lot of emotional damage from the boys back home, because I know that Lily is also a Spurs fan and she's going to be inflicting emotional damage on Troops. So hold some of that, because the next episode of Back Again is going to be a whole bunch of emotional damage for you, man. Yeah, it is going to be long. I haven't even seen what X has been tweeting as well. I know he's just been talking. I know he's been woofing, especially after a 4-0. And it's looking like Spurs are going to grab that top 4. Because, boy, let's have it right, yeah? Spurs, it's like Lee Gunner said. Big up Lee Gunner. This is why I say, yeah, people don't like this brother, but he's actually a realist. Obviously, the guy, he puts his message across in a way that winds up fans, but that's just Lee. You get me? If you know Lee, that's just what he is. He's a wind-up merchant. But he's talking real stuff. I'm telling you, the brother's talking real stuff. Yeah, now look, he was saying that Arsenal could still finish 8th. Don't get fooled by this top 4 thing. Now look, it's not looking good. They needed them 3 points today. Now with these injuries, boy, oh boy, it is not looking good for them. But who cares? That's North London. That's the North London syndrome. As for Spurs, I don't care if they get top 4. You know they're not going to do anything with it anyway. They're not winning the league next season. They're not winning the Champions League next season. They're not winning nothing. So just let them have it at the expense of Arsenal, just for the sake of the Back Again podcast, because I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. Because remember, do you remember when, yeah, and it weren't Troops and Czar saying this, but I do seem to remember quite a few Arsenal fans on the socials talking about, oh yes, Chelsea, they're on a downward spiral, yes, and they might, we're going to catch up with them. If we win this game, and we've got a game in hand, we've got 2 points within touching distance of Chelsea. You have to watch out for, look in the rear mirror, you know what I mean? Objects seem to be coming fast with this whole Arsenal crap. Hey, listen, bruv, going fast where? You're on a fast road to nowhere, cuz. Yeah, you're on a fast road to 8th place. Yeah, that's where you're going. 8th place. Yes, this is a warm-up for the podcast. I'm going to be a whole lot worse. I'm going to have to, the only thing is that Jetski's going to have to turn up my mic. He's going to have to definitely turn up my mic. But yeah, this is what we're doing. Arsenal in the mud. Chelsea, listen, we seem to be bouncing back. Hopefully. 2 early goals at Madrid. First half goals and we shut them out. Completely different game, man. Completely different game. But that's a big if. That is a huge, huge if. Jake is saying the gap between Chelsea, Liverpool, City and the rest of the pack is quite big. Yeah, quite right. Apparently, a little birdie told me that Arsenal was supposed to be like 2 points within our distance or something, or a point, or maybe even above us. But it appears in the Premier League table that we have both played, I believe it's 30 games. We have both played 30 games. Yes, 30, I believe. And Chelsea Football Club, yes, the pride of London, the champions of Europe. It appears that we are 8 points clear of Arsenal. So this theory about Arsenal being within 2 points touching distance of Chelsea, yes. How's it looking now? Yeah, I've got the table here. So, all right, Spurs have played 1 more game than us, which is cool. So if we win that, we will be 8 points clear of them as well. But Arsenal, it is not looking good. And let's look at the pressure behind them. Because remember, their game in hand is against Chelsea. Yeah, it's against us. West Ham, equal on points. No, they're not equal on points. They're 3 points behind with one more game played. Manchester United, 3 points behind with one more game played. Yeah, eighth is a real possibility for them. But the way Manchester United are performing as well, especially after that 1-0 loss to Everton this morning. Crikey. What happened there? Manchester United fans, what actually happened there? You lot got packed 1-0 by Everton, who couldn't get a win from nowhere, blood. These times last week, we was cracking jokes about them man getting relegated. These times 2 weeks ago, Stacks was dashing his TV in the flipping bin. And now you're losing to them, man. And I'm hearing Maguire again is another suspect in the reason why they've won this game. I don't care if it's a deflection, but Harry just has to have some kind of involvement in the drama every single week. £80 million for what? For a novella? You've basically signed a novella with a number 5 shirt on, bruv. Yeah, if you don't know what a novella is, big up my Spanish people, them. A novella is a soap opera. Stay tuned for the next episode. That's what Harry Maguire is. Every single game, there's something going down with this guy. Yeah, whether it's his fault or not, he's involved in the fuckery somehow. But long may it continue. And what's going on with Champions League Varane? I need to know. I really need to know these questions. And the reason why I'm getting on to Manchester United as well. This whole preview has just got left. Yeah, and I don't even care. I'm just chatting. I'm just really feeling to talk today, yeah, after this 6-0 win. It has put a spring in my step and it's put the cockiness back in Guni. Because boy, oh boy, this week is going to be very, very interesting. I tell you that for free. Yeah, but listen, let's get back to Manchester United because I've got a very good friend called Apple, right? He's in the Man Knows Football group chat. If you saw the way this guy was behaving when he thought our club was going to be in the mud and we couldn't get any, and we didn't know what was going on with the whole buying situation, yeah? This guy was moving shameless. Absolutely shameless. Now, the tables have turned, my friend. And to a lot of you Manchester United fans, the tables have turned, my friend. FaZe Obama is saying Varane walks into your defense and out the exit. Yes, I agree with that. He walks through our defense, out the exit, past the Matthew Harding stand and out into wherever he's going. He's not walking into our defense on this current form. Yes, he was Champions League Varane in Real Madrid, but currently in the Premier League, he's not cutting it. I know he's injured. Yes, I do know he's injured. We do not celebrate injuries on this channel. But if you're a Manchester United fan, please put your hand on your heart and tell me whether you think that this guy has performed to Champions League Varane standards. Please tell me. I will wait. Right. So I'm assuming Manchester United fans are going to agree that this is not what they expected from Champions League Varane. But listen, it's not only his fault. We can't just point it out on him. We can't just say, it's your fault, it's your fault. His centre-back partner next to him is absolutely crap. And it doesn't help when you can't trust your centre-back partner. His goalkeeper, Mr. Reliable, David De Gea, doing his thing. But even the other guys either side of him. Wan-Bissaka, boy, I don't know what's going on with him at Manchester United, but he needs to get out of that club and he needs a reset. Hey, Manchester United, them glory days are not looking good. Ten Hag, do I think he's going to come in and make a difference for you lot? Do I think he's going to improve Manchester United? To be honest with you, when I look at it objectively, yeah, Pep Guardiola, because, right, hold on, before I get into that, we have to look at the standards that this team wants to get back into. And Manchester United, obviously, we know them to be successful, winning Premier Leagues, Champions Leagues, here and there. You get me? They only won 2 under Fergie, but still. You know, just being in the mix for the main trophies and that. Ten Hag has a huge job. First of all, he's got to sort that team out. He's got to walk in there and just sort out all the contract messes and all this drama that's going on at Manchester United with all these image rights and these prima donnas at that club, because it is a complete mess. Everything is a mess in there. That's first of all. Then he's got to implement his football. And then on top of that, he's got expectations to at least get top 4 at that club. And then on top of that, he's competing with Jurgen Klopp, Thomas Tuchel, Pep Guardiola, and several other managers. Ronaldo, I believe his contract running out in 2023. I don't see him renewing it. I really don't see him renewing it. Players going to Manchester United at this point will only be going for money at this stage. Let's have it right. I think so. Because if you look at it from the footballing perspective, why would any young player want to go there? Because they've got no direction, zero. Yes, they say their aim is to win things every season, but they ain't been winning nothing for almost what? They ain't won a league in 9 years now, is it? So so they're in a position where it's more than a rebuild on the pitch. There's so much that needs to be done in and around that club. Taking the banter away, taking all the banter away, I ain't gonna lie. For the actual Manchester United fans who love the game as much as us Chelsea fans love the game and everybody else do, it's really not funny because the way they've been treated by their ownership is unacceptable. Being completely honest, yes they have spent, they've bought players, but it's not just about buying players. It's not just about throwing money at the problem. It's so much more than that. It's a hell of a lot more than just throwing issues at the problem. It's having the right people in place to make the correct decisions. And Manchester United don't seem to be doing that. And, you know, in some ways it ties into this whole situation with Chelsea. We've got to be very careful about the owners that come in. I mean, you know, I've been screaming Todd Bowley from the rooftop since the Saudis were not an option. And we all know, and we found out how that would have went with the Saudis that were looking to take loans out of the club and finance their project through that way and repay it, which is not we don't want that. And even still with Todd Bowley, we've got to be careful. We've got to be careful with that. I hear that they're involving Clear Lake investors who are a hedge fund. And if you know anything about hedge funds, that is people's money. That is the public's money, or whoever's decided to invest in that, that's their money. So they are going to need returns. So how they're going to invest in Chelsea Football Club, whether they're going to be... it's going to be interesting, but we have to be very careful what we wish for. In terms of like a sporting plan with Todd Bowley, and now, you know, he's brought in another partner from the Dodgers to make his bid stronger. I think in terms of what we've seen, that one is definitely the best. That one is definitely the best. 100%. Let me see what some of the people are saying in the comments. It's a bit different today. I know this was meant to be a post-match. I spoke about it a little bit. But do you know what? Since I'm going to be getting a lot of you lot's perspectives in the next 25 minutes, actually, I thought, let me just talk about today in general, to be honest with you. Just do something a little different. And by the way, I am working on a weekly Premier League roundup show with one or two others. I'm trying to get Roma to jump on it, trying to get Apple to jump on it. One of the Liverpool guys as well. The name's gone out of my... Do you know what? I'm not going to be disrespectful. I'm actually going to get his name. I don't like to do that. It's just sometimes my memory does elude me. But, yeah, Matty Orn, who is a Liverpool fan and does feature on the LFC transfer room. We will be doing a Premier League weekly roundup. I'm trying to put some more shows into rotation on the channel. But let's see what the people them are saying. Yeah, Maguire had a howler. Varane, they're saying he's a good defender. He is. He's not shit, but he's not been performing to the level that he has. You know what I'm saying? Guni, did you see CR37 dashing the Everton? What? Oh, so this is an actual thing. Whoa. Hold on. Jake is saying it as well. Ronaldo smashed an Everton fan's phone at full time near the tunnel. Wow, Ronaldo is done out here. If he can't, yeah, bruv. FaZe Obama, hey, big up to you, by the way, bruv. I know you're a Man United fan. It's never, it's never nice when where like opposition fans are just talking shit about your club. So I can't be a hypocrite. And yeah, but Ten Hag can't fix this because there are so many players in our team that aren't good enough. So it's a clear out summer and you see these clear outs, bruv. Like, you're in a position, this is what I'll say about United as well. Like, you lot are in a position where you're in worse than us because your wage salary average is way bigger than ours, I believe. I think it's a lot bigger than ours. And some of the players that what they're getting paid, a lot of other teams out there are not going to pay them. So you're going to end up stuck with quite a few players. It's a vicious cycle, this one. So it's going to be interesting to see what you can actually offload, because I know you got a whole bunch of deadwood. But some of these guys, what they're being paid. I mean, I think you lot can agree that Maguire needs to be sold now. Like, it's gone beyond the joke. But who's going to pay him the wages that he's on? And especially after you paid 80 million for him, these are the problems that you're going to face. There's several others as well. You're going to have to wait for some of these guys to walk out of the club on a free, unfortunately. We've got a few of them players. We've got, Marcos Alonso still at the club. Azpilicueta, as much as I love him, and he's a Premier League legend, Chelsea legend, we shouldn't be leaning on him as much as we are. Contract situation again there. But although Barcelona want to take him, but we're in a situation where we can't sell him because of our sanctions, etc., etc. Who else? Danny Drinkwater. I mean, look, it's a huge problem. Yeah, I don't know what's going on out there. Let's see what the rest of you are saying. Arsenal versus Man United. EL banter. Pogba's gone too. Apparently, it was little kid's phone. It was a little kid's phone as well. If that's true, man, that's terrible from Cristiano. I mean, no matter how angry and upset you get after a loss and continually losing the way Manchester United have, you've got to hold your composure, man. Especially when you're Cristiano Ronaldo. You're not just a football player. You're like you're a superstar. Kids from kids of the youngest ages to adults of the oldest ages, they look up to you, they watch you, they look at you as somebody who works hard, and has had a very successful career. So that's a player that you point to and just say, yo, listen, you see, in terms of hard work, reaps rewards, that's somebody over there, Ronaldo, and he's just letting himself down with things like that. Only 40 likes needed for 100. I'm going to be coming off this in about 5 minutes. I'm going to need a 15-minute break before I do the interactive live stream. I just thought I'd just do a live on my own and just really touch a little bit on the game earlier before I speak to you lot and just talk about some of the things that happened to other teams. I thought it was right to speak on Arsenal, especially after the shit that Zara and Troops have been talking. And that's going to be continued on the next episode of Back Again. I promise you. We spoke a bit about Manchester United and their downward spiral. As for Chelsea, another 3 points on the board. Our next Premier League game, I believe, is against Arsenal at Stamford Bridge. I think we're going to, with the injuries that they've got, I think we get 3 points against them. The next immediate game that we have, though, will be against Real Madrid. I believe. Is it Real Madrid? I think it is Real Madrid's second leg this week. And then it will be the FA Cup semi-final, and then Arsenal or something like that. But we've set ourselves up well. Hopefully this will be a strong end to the season. Hopefully we can string some very positive results. Let's start off with Real Madrid. Hopefully we can pull off a massive upset, which will set us up well for the semi-final. Look, I'm going to say this. I'm going to be 1,000% honest. If we somehow beat Real Madrid and go through to the semi-final, we're winning this Champions League again. There's no way we're doing that and not winning the Champions League. That's what I'm saying. But still, a lot to do. You get me? A lot to do. Great response from Thomas Tuchel. Great response from the lads on the pitch. Great response from Mason Mount, who has held a lot of criticism, but today was just at the centre of pretty much everything today. Everything that was good of that 6-0 win for him. I'm going to say he was my man of the match. On another day, it would have been Timo Werner, but for me, Mason Mount was so involved in everything, was just so instrumental today, was rewarded with 2 goals. The first one was an absolute belter, bottom corner, absolute laser. Digging the new haircut as well, the new army buzz cut, you get me? Appreciation from the Board Lives Matter president. But you get me, looks like Mason Mount is serious. Hopefully he carries this into Real Madrid. But listen, I will be back in 20 minutes to do the interactive live with you lot, where we will discuss the game. We'll strictly discuss that. I did go on a completely different tangent on this live, so if you was expecting something different, I think like the first 10, 15 minutes of it was really talking about the Chelsea game. But after that, went off at a completely different tangent. You get me, talked about today. But yeah, man, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, please make sure you do stay safe and make sure you hit that like button and also subscribe if you are new. And do not miss the interactive live in about 20 minutes. The link is already up on the channel. The waiting room is there, so just migrate over there if you want to give your views. You know how it works. Camera on at all times. And also make sure your internet connection is working sweet. I'm not trying to do the stop, start. And I will only be on for 1 hour this time, not an hour and a half. So I'm going to try and take as many calls in as possible.